Because you suck your own blood. And then you never let go again. What can Shiva do in his teacher avatar position as Krishna? Trying to, then Yogananda is like a yoga. The idea, even the name means that you can reach Ananda by yoga. The yoga of Ananda. Okay, Ananda kills you, because in Ananda you cannot exist. If that is a yoga of Ananda, but then he didn't succeed. All his techniques, all his things, and all his, that it has to be, it's a bit, but everything is misleading, that I like.
It's all misleading. Even his singing, I always, even before I knew anything, I always found his singing weird.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of him still in that singing. There's so much, he sings like, oh God, beautiful, oh God, beautiful.
If it's fun.
Yeah, it's not anything.
The biggest traps are the uplifting things. That was like you sing, it makes it easier. For me, it's actually the opposite is more.
Yeah.
It has to be so heavy. Like it's really like the heaviest tone in the sea. Only when you're the heaviest tone, you sing to the ground. Not when you're like a balloon. Singing balloon on the surface of the water. La, 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 la.
I'm so high. I'm so high. I'm glad you said this because it's never made any sense to me.
No,
Yogananda, Yogananda. His body didn't even decay for 20 days after he died.
Fuck it all.
That's how pure it was.
How much medicine did he get before?
Maybe they froze it, I don't know. But they said his body was so pure.
Yeah.
That not one decay, not one bacteria touched it.
He didn't decompose. Even the earth didn't want him. Even the worms didn't dare to take a bit out of him. I have no idea, it's just stories.
Well, it's something, but it's not the real thing. It's something.
It's like in Buddhism, there are all these monks sometimes, there's a technique of mummifying yourself by yourself. Your special diet, special things that you prepare, 9 years you prepare to meditation, to whatever food, special things, that you get mummified yourself, and then you die being a mummy. And there are some succeeded. It's strange, and you find some in some museums or something.
And then what after that?
I don't know. They made it. And people come and say, oh, he made it, I want it. And the monks are doing it too, and it's like
they
a big...
found one recently, actually, didn't they? They found a mummified monk.
Yeah, and they do it by themselves. And the last 3 weeks, or the last time of that, they just make, they put a wall around them, they put some, the masons, they just make stones that no one can touch them, and then they get mummified by. Sounds good. That sounds to be, yes, they're enlightened by that. It's like a way of enlightenment. It's like killing yourself by not killing yourself. Keeping the form but still not, whatever. There's so many
variations on the theme.
Wow, what can be done? In this circus of life, there are so many clowns and dresseurs and beasts and all kinds of playing and actors and what can be. Hollywood is unlimited. And in part of it is monks who mummify themselves. Yeah. And life, what can life do? Just watching it. Oh, another one who tries.
What about these life samadhis? You know, like Yaneshwar, he was very young and he put himself in he was still alive. Put himself in the crypt or whatever.
There are many stories about people who unearthed and buried and this one and on nails, and all the yogi stories. Jesus was a yogi, being nailed. Sleeping on nails or anything. I have no idea. It's all, every one of them tries to make this heart not whiter because they try to disconnect perception from the body. That's a technique. And by pain. Yoga is just like by putting nails and this and knives and this. It's all about disconnecting from the body. And it can happen. Everyone knows that when you're really sick, have a fever, high fever or something, suddenly there's one point, there is no one who feels anything anymore. Because it's so intense or whatever, you just disconnect from the body. Or laughing gas does it, or drugs are doing it, and whatever. So it's all about more comfort. And the biggest comfort is like being not connected to the body, being this free perception in the formless space. And then the body is just merely a corpse. And then you try to stay there. And it's already quite like comfortable in that. You don't mind there, because it's quite nice. Then you try the best to stay there. Yeah, why not? But they all came back. It's all part of it. All that has to happen. All the 7 states or whatever thing has to happen, and there has to be a master or someone who is reaching them, like getting established for a while. But it's all temporary. It's all transitory. It cannot be true, because it's different. And there's an advantage in it. And I agree. There's an advantage of feeling no pain. There's an advantage of having no body, being formless, spirit. It's an advantage. And there's even the next advantage, being awareness. The witness is quite, I agree, it's an advantage, because there is no suffering in being the witness. And being beyond, then you're beyond even the witness. So, wonderful. But I tell you, this is not a way out. This is just merely one way you realize yourself. But you will always end up here. This is waiting. This marketplace with all that temptations, with all that pain.
There's no end to reincarnation?
There is no end of realization. But there was never any incarnation. So there will never be any reincarnation. First find...
Yeah, for the reality.
Yeah, first find anyone who is incarnated. And then we can talk about reincarnation. By not finding anyone who is incarnated, the whole question of reincarnation is collapsing.
It's from a point of view.
Yeah. First you have to confirm one who is born, then this one will be reborn, because this phantom birth will happen again. So it's already reborn when the moment he is born. But it's an imaginary birth, because in that imaginary birth nothing is born. So life didn't come by experiencing life, and it will not go when life is gone, like this imaginary life. So who is now born? That's more the question. It's not like what is about rebirth, because that's already confirming something what is not true now, what is an imagination. So the Dalai Lama being 15 times now, the Dalai Lama is 15 times an imaginary birth.
Yeah, so what is it with the Dalai Lama?
Yeah, it's part of the drama. It's like when Rama knows him, he makes a drama. It's a drama of Rama, and then he wants to win again, whatever. No, it's always a question. The ultimate medicine is not finding anyone who is born. And then the whole question of the way out, everything collapsing in that. By not failing one who is born, failing to find yourself. Because now you imagine that you found yourself. And having found yourself is pain. So now you have like a foundation in imaginary existence. That's painful. And now you ask, well, maybe next reincarnation it will be better. It always gets worse and worse and worse. But whole India is living, the whole India would not be peaceful like that without that idea of reincarnation. So it's a very useful idea, like making that rule keeps one in check, not killing the neighbor right away. Yeah, otherwise this would be war instantly. If there would be not the idea that what you do now will influence the incarnation of the next time. So I better don't kill my neighbor now, because maybe next time I will be my own neighbor. No, fear. Without fear, what would be the humanity do? They would kill each other right away, or every one of them, because they would kill themselves right away if they would not fear death. You only don't kill yourself because you don't know what will happen next. Maybe it's worse than this. But there's maybe a tradition even, there was a tradition of so-called enlightenment, Yanis, they just killed themselves the moment they realized themselves. Yeah. Yeah, just instant, okay, bye-bye. If this doesn't work anyway, just bye-bye. But it's not in their hand, it's just another part of another role to play. So it was very common that they just disappeared. They were just fed up with it. Why should I bother about this? I agree with them, but for me being here or I'm already dead. What can I do? In that sense, I cannot kill myself further now. And the next getting rid of this, there will be something else. The next will be the next, so what? I have to realize myself if I like it or not. This helplessness, okay. It's an acceptance it's not in my hand. I cannot not accept what I am. There's an acceptance by nature, but not by choice. This choicelessness is peace and not any other things. So I always agree, it's stupid to be born or have this experience, but does it make anything to you? Is there anything to lose in it? Does it make you less or more? So if even enlightenment doesn't make a difference, so the next, just drink the next, whatever comes next. Yeah, where is the business otherwise if you cannot offer some more comfort?
Why is the what?
What can you make a business out of this? I mean, like giving satsang or giving things or having some books or the power of now or something and a new earth or something, if you don't promise something. Better relationships and, oh God, yeah, when I hear that, even yesterday I looked, there was this movie about Ramana and Papaji and Visagata, like, who a guy or something. And then in the end there was one guy from South Africa and really like it was, I could really, since I Ramana and write book and thing, and since then my family, it's so fine and everything in such an harmony and my kids behave much better and because I am stress-free, whatever thing, and making it really like a benefit again. And that actually is the opposite of what he points to. The absolute opposite.
But many teachers are selling this.
Oh, everyone sells that. How can you be a teacher without selling an advantage?
Yeah, a better life.
You get better off when you listen to me or when you're around me. Even Mr. Mochi is doing it.
Is he?
Of course. I saw some video things and he's selling it. When you stick around me, you will make it. You will wake up next year. Or something. And I'm astonished because he says maybe 95% or more, I would agree what he says, servant thing. But then comes, but. You have to. This has to happen, this. Total opposite to his master, to Papaji. He said there was no effort will ever do anything. Hanging around or not, no one will ever make it anyway. But not. Being in that tradition, and then how can you? Yeah, you can. It's amazing.
He's got so many people sitting around him.
Yeah, but only because he promised something. It's a promising thing. It's radiating love, and everyone feels something. He's using Shakti thing, whatever, transmitting some energy field. You call it Buddha field, but it's all a flower who is tempting the bees. But it's not, it's okay. Don't take me wrong, I'm not putting it anyway. But how can you not step into that trap of that temptation? It's perfectly made for you, for everyone who is there. And you totally believe in it, that this is the place, this is where I have to be, and I want to become what I am, and this will make it. And then there is one who is promising it. Yeah, it needs two to this relationship of a master-disciple relationship. And both are in a dream, absolutely. But what can they do? You cannot even blame the masters who do it, or the teachers. That's exactly as they have to play their role.
Then he is in a dream too.
Yes, of course. Every saint is part of the dream. What is not in the dream?
People used to ask, someone asked Maharaj, you say everything's an illusion. What about you? Are you an illusion also? He said, yes, I'm the first class illusion.
Yeah, first class illusion. Yeah, that's in that way. Nisargadatta was asked, what is the difference between you and Ramana? I said, I'm slightly better dressed. That's easy. That's very nice. No, I like the humor of them.
Yeah.
So humor. Not so dry. Slightly better dressed. That can everyone can say that. Everyone is slightly better dressed than And I tell you one thing, he loves it not to be taken so seriously. You talk to him eye to eye, and that is he wants. That is what he is asking. Not putting him in any high saint put as somewhere as a special saint, tralala. And the biggest teaching is that he didn't mind to be mummified. Huh?
You what?
He didn't reject to be mummified. They mummified him in the ashram. He's sitting there.
I can't see through marble.
Most people don't know that I think he's somewhere, but he's still sitting there as a sausage, mummified.
Sausage.
Yeah, what is his body? It's a sausage. Huh?
They put chemicals and everything on it.
Salt. They insulted him. It's a total insulting.
Well, that's what they did with Buddhism.
They did do with every of these guys. They insult them all.
Still in a sitting?
Yes, in the sitting mummified.
Is it Himalayan salt?
What?
Is it Himalayan salt?
I hope so. Because it's called Himalaya, where all the liars come from. From the Himalayas. Where the rishis sits and meditating for peace and so on. That's called Himalayas. From the Himalayas. And then the Sausalayas. So wherever you go, you find liars.
The Himalayas also have this power, like from natural,
Kailash.
like iron or some.
Kailash they say, is very powerful.
It's also because of iron and magnetism, or it's,
I don't know. We don't need to know why it's powerful. Just the home of Shiva, come on. Must be powerful. This is the light of Shiva. It's not lush, it's Kailash. No, I don't deny that places in the universe are different. And this is a different place with a different energy, a different resonance field. And I like it. So if the whole life creates...
The rest that's so difficult.
Yeah, the rest makes it difficult. No.
But when Ramana said, and he did say that it was the most powerful place on earth, is it the most powerful place? What do you think about that? Or is it just this Indian? I know they only say this is the most.
India is the only place to get enlightened. India is the place where all the saints are born. India is whatever, where God is playing. Yeah, India is the place. I have no idea. Even Yogi Rameshwar Kumar, there was big sayings on like, if you don't come to India, you will not. This is the place where God meets you and tralala. So even as the dream is everywhere. My father sends me, and my father now has another name, Kumar, Yogi Ramsurat Kumar. If you repeat that, and the roses come, and you will smell it, and air is full of rat and roses and you smell. Oh yes, there it is. You felt it? It's great, yeah? No, it was heaven.
He said also, if you're ever in trouble, you know, like you're about to have an accident, just say Yogi Rats.
Yeah. And it works. It works.
Some people said it worked.
No, it worked. Since I know him, it worked.
But you have to have met him for it to work.
No, I met. He was living next door.
Yeah, but I'm saying I had never met him, so it wouldn't work for me.
No, maybe it worked for you too.
I don't know. You have to, I think, have met him.
I liked him.
I tried.
I tell you, when talking about energy, when he died that morning, and sitting there with his bob up and in this chair, and before he got mummified and thing, the whole cathedral there, the whole plane hangar, the whole airport was full of blue, totally foggy energy. It was amazing. This Kushner energy was fantastic. You could cut into it, like thing, and it was, oh, it's such an intense. In his ashram. It looks like an hangar or not, it's a very big one. But I like it to call it an airport because everyone wants to lift up there.
I was going to ask you if you were with him when he died, how come you could see the airport? You were at the airport.
I was living next door.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you, I thought you said airport, so I was going to say, how come you were at the airport at the same time as you were with him when he died? But you mean, I understand.
Yeah, it's a hangar. It's a departure place where people want to depart. They want to depart from this world. So it's an airport. Every ashram is an airport in that sense. They want to meditate away.
This looks like an airport.
Yeah, at least he doesn't put it down. No, actually he was really acceptance. When there is acceptance, you see it. Because he was so sick before he died. And they put him into this hospital-like room there, where you could look through the window. He was laying there on machines. And then there were strings. And whenever he comes, his arm went up for blessing. He was totally unconscious, in a coma or something, but this one arm. I liked it so much, and if he was known as the biggest city masters of South India, controlling the universe in a way or something, but helplessness in nature. That he could not even avoid that the disciples put a string around his arm, making a blessing.
Are you sure they put a string?
There was a string attached.
There was a string attached.
He was not conscious.
Yeah, but
how could his arm come up? There was the roll and the thing, there was like a machine. That machine almost knows the drumming. And then they let him die on Shivarati. Shivarati was his death day, on that day. So they turned off the machines exactly on that auspicious day.
Oh, they turned off the machines.
And 4 weeks before he already would have died without machines, but they allowed some disciples all over India that they had time for 4 weeks to come by bus or by transportation, come for his funeral, for his whatever, last. Fantastic. The disciples, they decide everything.
Oh, yeah. You know, when Shiva had a stroke before he died, I was there. And he said, let this body go.
Yeah, let me alone.
Huh?
Let me alone, yeah. Leave it alone.
Go. But they wouldn't, of course. And when I was sitting in the hospital, and he also was lying on a gurney, you know, and behind some windows. And when I came, I was with a girl, and she left, and he stood up. He really did. He looked in my direction. It was amazing. And then I sat down, and one of his disciples said to me, I said, let him go, let him go. I mean, that's his teaching, let him go. No, how can we? He's our mother. He has to take care of us.
Yeah. It's all selfish.
And then when we went in, he was taken into Hinduja Hospital in Bombay, and they had him everything to try to keep him alive. And when we went in, we could go in individually for a darshan. And when I went in, the person who was looking after him was in front, and then he moved away, and there was Mama
bigger.
So sad. So sad, because he was hooked up to machines, and tears were coming from his eyes, and he was looking, and as he was looking, it was like, what are they doing to this?
Yeah.
They have not understood anything I've said. And people were then doubting, this Maharaj realized, they were doubting because he was...
Because crying.
They took him out and they wanted to give him speech therapy. And he tricked, he had enough wits about him to trick the speech therapist. She asked him questions to try to determine whether or not his brain was good enough to learn speech again. And he gave the most ridiculous, we knew, the ones who really felt it in the heart, we knew he was giving the most ridiculous
speech,
answers, just to fuck them off. And then, he would sit there and people would say, couldn't be realized, but you could see.
Yeah.
It was even more beautiful. It was even more beautiful through a broken down body.
Yeah. And to see that the body is just a... Yeah, I tell you, even Papa did that's a story that he had to really make it bus, it's enough. To this Yamuna doctor or whatever, fuck it, you don't touch me anymore, bus, it's enough. Otherwise they would get boom, boom,
That's
boom.
just to me the saddest, the really, really, when I walked out of that room, I said to my people around there, I said, I have seen something, I have seen Christ on the cross. I never thought I would see a master crucified by his approaches.
That's the way it is. Who else can crucify a master?
That to me is the saddest part.
Disciples are, devotees, they vote for something what they want to own. It's ownership, my master. And they want to keep this master forever, if they can. They want to, it's like a
mummy.
Like a mummy, yeah. And then they want to and then they mummify it. That's a mummification. Even as a dead body they want to not let go. No, let go. Now the samadhi, whatever, 100 miles next to his master is quite nice there, the place and things. Nisargadatta was burned next door. So what's better? I don't know. But the greed of disciples is...
And the pain that the master feels, because what have I been teaching? What have I been speaking? All I've been doing is speaking.
But it was not, no one understood what I said. Now they care about the chic factory. How often do I have to point it out? That didn't work.
And then they burned his body also. They burned the
Yeah.
body. Yeah.
But they put the ashes on the samadhi place.
They made so many samadhis. They made 7 samadhis.
Yeah? Oh.
But the thing is this, you had photographs. I had a photograph of his skull among the ashes burned. And then a friend of mine came and he said, from Europe, and he said, I never wanted to have anything to do with a master like this. I just wanted to enjoy my life. Well, he was smart. But anyway, he said to me, can you give me a photograph? Because I want to meditate on that skull. Because I want to meditate on death.
Yama meditation.
I don't know. It's so weird, the whole thing is...
It has to happen like that. No way out. There are so many ways of crucifying your master. And you do it. Just by calling me your master, you crucify him. You put him down by calling me your master already. It's fantastic. And you cannot stop it. Calling someone your guru is crucifying him. My guru. But you cannot stop. It's always this trying to own, having something. The best. And my guru is better than yours anyway. So I don't blame anyone. It's just out of longing they do it. But you're right, if there would be understanding, they would just bye-bye. But the most things, let go of this one first, and then if you cannot let go of this one, you cannot let go of the master.
At least out of compassion you can let go of them. If you can't, not out of realization.
No, the greed is too much. This pain inside and the expectation that maybe there is one precious moment still left and I have to keep it and whatever, maybe I miss an opportunity, and the fear is always running dry. So I don't blame them, but it's a tragedy for sure. Everything actually. How the self is treating the self, and it cannot help it. It's always the raper and the raped. There's no difference in nature. So what else can do it? Who is there who is a disciple and then making that to his master? And you have to see in that nothing ever happened. It's just a helplessness in action.